My goal today is very, very simple. I would like, with our remaining time together, to invert this lie of more is better and hopefully get us on the same page with a new truth. And that is simply less is better. How much of us look at our lives like this big bowl of jelly beans? You got vibrancy, you got color, you got fullness. I'm gonna take everything I can. Why? Because more is better. This is not sustainable. This is toil. Taking on as much as we can, believing that more is better, will never satisfy or give the peace that we so desire. Why? Because we have believed the lie that 2 handfuls with toil is better. But what happens if I was to actually believe this bit of wisdom and I was to return one of my handfuls? Well, now suddenly, I'm already feeling a bit more free. Why is it that I keep going back to grab 2 handfuls? It's because that's actually what my heart wants. There is something that has become disconnected inside of me that has become unbalanced. And whatever it is that you and I desire the most is the person that we will become. So what is actually going to satisfy the desire of your heart for peace and contentment? What's the secret to your contentment? It is not found in your circumstance. The only way that you will find the peace that your heart so desires is when you find it in your Creator. Peace will only be found if you can return to where you belong, which is in the life of Jesus. The first thing I want all of us to do with all of this in mind is to simply simplify your life. You must simplify your life if you want to become more like Jesus. How are you going to do that? The first one is embracing a childlike faith of trust and humility. What does childlike faith look like for you and for me? We care less about where we're going and more about who we are going with. In order to simplify our faith, we need to realize that the destination of our lives is not our destination. It is the author of all humanity, of heaven and earth. And he has something for you that is significantly better than what you could have decided for yourself. We've got to also embrace spiritual renewal. You cannot live the life that God is calling you to live by trying to do this on your own strength. You cannot change your own habits, change your own practice. How do you do that? You open up the words that he breathed into life. Third thing you got to do is you got to engage in some metanoia. Metanoia is literally God rewiring the way that you think so that you can open your eyes and your mind to how good he is. And I got to ask you today, have you simplified your faith to a point where you understand? At the end of the day, I need to embrace a childlike faith. I'm just going to follow God wherever it is that he's taken me. I'm going to engage in some metanoia. I'm going to ask God to renew my mind. I'm going to be constantly being refueled by his spirit and his spirit alone. I'm not going to try and do this thing in my own strength. And then I'm going to go and do what he asked me to do with this incredible foundation of love, grace, and support. Could you imagine what this city would look like if we all took that so seriously? And so what you and I need to do is we need to be brave. And we need to go, I'm actually going to say, God, you know what? I am willing to empty out everything that does not matter. And I'm going to have an empty cup that says, God, I trust you with my future. And what we'll find suddenly, there is more than enough room for the God of the universe in our lives and in our hearts. So what's the secret to your contentment? It's finding peace in the presence of the God who breathed you into life with a unique purpose and a unique time. And if you and I are not careful, we will forget where this story ends. This story began in a garden with perfect contentment with the God of the universe. Perfect relationship, nothing broken at all. And where does this story end? It ends in eternity with the peace of the God that transcends understanding.